And the great thing about you guys is you just have, you know, you've got such a huge greatest hits back catalogue, and when you weave in the newer songs, they seem to fit in perfectly.
Yeah, well, that's, you know, what we've been doing for, I mean, there was a worry 10 years ago that we could just end up in a sort of 80s black hole, you know, of nostalgia. I always say it's a bit like, you know, we made this album, The Norton Folgate, and we took a long time making that album. It was a bit like Star Trek, you know, you've got to get out of that black hole, and we did, you know, because there is a huge, you know, area of 80s nostalgia, which is very popular, but we definitely realised we wanted to get out of that, and we put a lot of effort into that the last few years. So, you know, playing new songs in the set is obviously a big part of that, so that we don't end up just playing the greatest hits. I mean, obviously, you know, we've had the great fortune to have 24 odd hits to be able to choose from, so we can change our set for our own amusement. But certainly we always play 4, 5, 6 new songs, and yeah, increasingly they seem to be going down as well as the old one. I mean, you know, when we write new songs, we try and think about the fact they've got to stand up against things at our house, and it must be love and songs like that. So it's a great feeling at the moment in the band. You know, as long as the knees hold out, who knows? This could go on for another 3 or 4 weeks.
There's a lot of humour in the performance as well. I mean, you could almost have a second career in stand-up. You must have one of the driest sense of humour that I've ever come across. Almost to the point where you wonder if everyone's getting the joke.
No, I know. I have to watch myself sometimes. Yeah, you know, you can get self-deprecation to the point of self-destruction. Yeah, so my wife tells me anyway. But you know, I've been doing this one-man show as well in parallel to what the band are doing at the moment. I've just finished doing a couple of months of. Yeah, I always knew I had a sense of humour. I mean, you know, the great thing about the band, we've all had a good sense of humour. That's why we started in the first place, because we all got along so well. And you know what we do very seriously, but the rest of it is always with a pinch of salt. You know, all of this business is a ridiculous business, really, to be in. The business of pop music is possibly the most ridiculous business in the world. So I think it has to be taken, all of it, with a pinch of salt, and that's, I think, pretty much what we have always tried to do. Look at the videos we made. You know, any interview we did in the last 30 years, we never took ourselves too seriously. I think that's a healthy thing, definitely, yeah.
One of the things during the performance there, you reminded the audience of your Scottish lineage, as it were.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you almost have to remind people to a certain extent when they come up here?
Well, yeah, of course. I was just going with the sympathy vote, you know, just trying to squeeze all the emotion I could out of it. Having taken the piss for a couple of numbers, I thought I'd really go for the Bruce Springstongs, you know, the fucking come on, the people.
Wow.
No, I was just thinking about it. I was just thinking, looking over that hill, somebody said before we went on stage, that Newton Moor isn't that far away, and I know that's, you know. Apparently I've got to get a book called The History of Tradition, which is sort of debunks the whole myth of the idea of the clans and all that whole idea of the Victorian sentimentalisation of the clan thing. But you know, of course, my name's Graham McPherson. I've got some roots in Scotland, of course I have, yeah. And I'm not proud of that. No, of course I am, yeah.
Now you've had, I mean, the last 18 months or a year or so. I think what with the Queen's the rooftop concert in Buckingham Palace, the closing ceremony of the Olympics, etc.
And a new beer called Gladness. Yeah, in a pub near you soon. It gets you pished.
Is that for real?
It certainly is, yeah. We just launched it the other day. It's going down like everything.
Is it for real, yeah?
Yeah, it is.
Because I never know with you, Suggs.
Well, you know, exactly. Well, I don't know if that's my problem or yours.
But
it's like when I was at school,
Gladness.
I used to get that. I hadn't done it. It's just something about my face. But in this particular instance, we have done it. Gladness.
So tell us about Gladness.
Get a pint or 3 of that down your screech, and you know what you're on about. Everything becomes clear as a bell.
Is that going to be distributed?
Yeah, it is, yeah. There's a chain called Nicholson's who've taken it already. I don't know if they're Scottish or not. Yeah, it's serious, yeah. Gladness, yeah, it'll be out.
And that's what you're going to be feeling after a couple of...
Well, funny enough, there was a big thing in the Observer today about One Direction have got some new perfume out. And this woman was saying, it's an absolute joke. How can young 16-year-old boys know what a woman wants in perfume? They should look to Madness, who've spent 30 years dedicated to the research of beer. Finally brought out something that the world needs.
This could be the start of something big.
Oh yeah, no, I know that. I do know that, you know, our fans tend to drink more beer than anybody else's, so we thought, you know, give the public what they want.
Well, the thing is, microbreweries are just popping up everywhere now. It's the big thing, kind of boutique.
But exactly, you know, we started in a pub called the Dublin Castle, and The only reason we got that first gig is because the owner of that pub sold more beer than he did in previous evenings.
Oh.
So he gave us a residency there. So they're the first pub to be selling our new beer, Gladness. So it's a fabulous thing that's all gone full circle. I mean, our lives did revolve around pubs. I'm not saying drinking too much is good for you, but it ain't done me no harm. But yeah, having your own beer, you know, it's always been one of the things we've hoped for, and we've done it. Yeah.
Drink responsibly and be irresponsible when you're sober.
There we are. That's it.
Something along those lines.
All the vices in moderation.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So, Suggs, what's next for you guys? Are you heading off tonight? Are you going to stay overnight? What's the plan?
Well, that's
Where do you go
Suggs
next?
from the Suggs, who's also got a very similar name to mine, from the Alabama 3.
Ah, he's here.
And please God, I don't bump into him. Otherwise, I'll have a very civilised evening. What's up for me? What, tonight? In the future? Sorry, I missed the
A
question.
bit of both, actually. What's next?
Well, I'm going to hang around and see a bit of Plan B. I like Plan B. He's a good guy, and we've got a few festivals coming, and we're also doing a series of concert racetracks, race meetings. The combination of beer, gambling, and madness. It's perfect. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
Would we ever have a madness festival in Scotland, do you think?
Very possibly. I mean, looking at this is a great. I mean, Norman Cook started this, didn't he? I can't see why we shouldn't. My manager Hugh's here. He's like, look at him. He's like a coiled spring, ready to go.
I know.
Where's the contract? We'll do it now.
Well, Suggs, all I want to say is thanks. It's been a pleasure for every single person that's been in this audience today at RockNess.
It was a great
to have
night.
you guys up here.
You know, sometimes we haven't played for a while. I forget how much joy you can have, and like I said, sometimes it's a pleasure, sometimes a privilege. Tonight it was definitely both. Yeah.
Suggs, madness. Thank you very much.
Gladness. Splash it on all over. Splash it on all over. It's better than Lynx.